All aboard! All aboard!
Years have passed. I returned to Paris and decided to stay. Its energy nourishes my spirit, mind, and body. I'm reminded of the older woman I met on a train long ago. Somehow she knew I belonged in Paris. I wonder where she is. It was a strange encounter with many unanswered questions. My favorite cafe is still part of my life. It's a bit of permanence in an otherwise constantly changing life. I sip my milk and honey-laced coffee, write and feel the energy of the Seine as it flows nearby. It's always a reminder of our beginnings long ago and far away. The destination may not be visible, but all flows together from common origins. Small but interesting and savored stories can take on a larger significance after a period of contemplation, like the older woman on the train, or a story my dad told me about his father and grandfather who had passed on before I was born. Like the older woman, Dad's story seemed stranger than fiction, but helped me understand him a little better over time since his passing. Now I understand more about the complexities of cultural heritage, and Dad's story raises new questions about my family origins. I remember Dad telling me that all he knew was what his father told him. I wish he and I could continue that conversation. I loved the sound of his storytelling voice. His grandfather, whom he never met, came from a religious Jewish family. He fell in love with the daughter of a Christian Russian Cossack. She defied her father and ran away from home to marry my dad's grandfather. Not long after Dad's father was born, the father of Dad's grandmother showed up unexpectedly and murdered her for defying him. Dad's grandfather went on a rampage to find and kill him and other Cossacks who might have been involved. Eventually, Dad's grandfather returned home to take care of his young son, who had been living with his grandparents. Out of guilt, Dad's grandfather became a rabbi and married a religious woman who helped raise his son. When the boy was of age, it was expected that he would become a rabbi. He rebelled by running away from home. He never saw his family again. When he married and had my father, he gave Dad the freedom to follow his own spiritual path. Both Dad and Mom felt they should let me do the same. If Dad were here, I'd ask why he and other family members had black kinky hair, broad noses, and affinity for foreign languages, music, and other arts. Is there a family connection to the Russian Cossacks who attempted but failed to conquer Saulon, a French-occupied North African country now called Djibouti? Or maybe a link to the Russian black Cossacks whose lives began in Africa. As African children of privilege, they were kidnapped and sold into slavery to Russian noble families. They spent much of their childhood in Russia, were freed, educated, and became notable in Russia. They had large families and traveled a great deal. The researcher, writer in me wonders what unknown facts there are about my cultural heritage. Countless people seem so sure of their heritage. Maybe there are greater truths to be known. Are we all more connected than we think? A world map reveals possible routes of migration over centuries for millions of families escaping life and death situations. Eventually, countless families chose to make America their home. It might shed light on the unexplainable connections between people of differing cultures, the haunting alienation between some cultural groups, and the potential for healing. Paris feels like home in a sometime confusing life. It's also close to countries where I travel and enjoy trying to speak different languages and absorb the music and other arts. In North Africa, I'm doing research for a feature story about the healing power of the arts, especially music. There is much to take in around the Mediterranean coastal communities. At times, it feels like some mystical sense of being. The other day, I thought I saw people I knew a long time ago in the States, artists who toured many countries. Sometimes I feel the spirit of loved ones and ancestors I never met. It isn't always easy, but I try not to question where my journey is taking me. The mystery of the journey can be the most meaningful part. I hope there will be many train trips in my future.